Welcome to Green and Red, scrappy politics for scrappy people. A regular podcast on radical, environmental and anti-capitalist politics. Brought to you by Bob Bazanko and Scott Parkin.
Welcome to the silky smooth sounds of the Green and Red podcast. I'm your co-host, Scott Parkin in Berkeley, California. And Bob is off on assignment tonight. But I am joined by my old friend and comrade, Jeff Grubler. And we're going to talk a little bit. Hey, Jeff, glad to have you here.
Scott. Thank you. Good to be here.
And we're going to talk a little bit about some stuff that Jeff has been up to. Jeff is a San Francisco-based activist and the creative genius behind the street theater group Bad Taste for a Good Cause. And they have been very busy since the Trump administration has come back into power. And so we're going to talk about a recent action and just like some of their work just in general. And just to kick it off, Jeff, Peter Thiel, who is the part of the PayPal mafia. He is a fanatical right-winger. He started Palantir. He is up to no good. And like lots of things that are going poorly for our country right now are a result of Peter Thiel. I'll be real honest. But Peter Thiel has a series that he's given at the San Francisco Commonwealth Club. And so you just did an action there with like many other people. And I'm wondering if you could tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, Peter Thiel, who should be taken both very seriously and mocked even more seriously.
Yeah.
This billionaire who is doing a huge defense contract, who is basically sucking in defense contract bucks to spy on Americans, use AI to kill people around the world. And whether it's from Gaza with the IDF or here with our own Gestapo for ICE, he is supporting all that and making billions from our tax dollars in scraping databases, putting together this database on every American. And this very serious billionaire is giving a 5-part lecture series at the Commonwealth Club on the Antichrist. Now, unbelievable. He actually theorized before that the Antichrist could be somebody like Greta Thunberg. That is somebody who wants to see is concerned about saving the planet and not intentionally starving children in Gaza.
Who was a 20-year-old girl, and probably when Thiel said this about her was maybe a 16-year-old girl, just to be clear about that too.
Yeah. Let's be fair to Peter Thiel. The boys that he uses as blood bags to try to stay alive forever are probably pretty close to that age.
Yeah.
So Peter Thiel was at the Commonwealth Club, and he will be there again next week.
4 more times, right?
Or 4 more times, talking about the Antichrist. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So Purge Palantir has been doing great work in taking on Palantir, taking Peter Thiel and the whole surveillance and murder state, fascism, techno-fascism. And so they organized this action. I actually didn't even know that they had organized people. As soon as I found out they were doing it, I went and started getting things together. So there were a lot of people out there, the Purge Palantir folks, a lot of very creative people. And what I did was I dressed as South Park Satan, and I took their sign, their actual sign from the event, and I made some changes, changed the Peter Thiel's photo because they use a photo of him from his 20s or something instead of his vampire-like presence now. I just used an actual updated photo and made a banner with that and got in my South Park Satan suit. And as these people were lining up to go in, I just held a sign that said, spoiler alert, Peter Thiel is the Antichrist. And which was pretty fun because also because what happened was I brought a photography mount, a thing to put my banner on. And I lost one of the screws. So I wound up just taping it to the side of the building next to the Commonwealth Club. So they all were passing by me. And instead of arguing or fighting with these people, I was just informing them that there would be hors d'oeuvres and light and drinks before the event. I was welcoming them. And the coolest thing too was that there was another group of people who I had no knowledge that they would be there, but they dressed up in their finest Satanist gear and were welcoming Peter Thiel as the Antichrist.
Yeah,
And
I saw that in the video. That's the video that we'll play at the end of this episode. But they were the Church of Satan.
yeah, and they're really satirists, more satirists than Satanists, but they were awesome. They were awesome. And they were very earnest, serious people as well who were there. But it was a lot of fun.
Did Thiel or any of his people come out to say anything or shake Satan's hand?
People were engaging with me while I was there. I got some of the one young man said to me, "How much did you buy? How much did you spend on that costume? Did you spend all your welfare check?" And because they live in those tropes, they
Right.
actually think that everybody on the left is either on welfare, even we don't even call it that anymore, but you're either on welfare or you are paid there by a billionaire.
Yeah. George Soros, yeah.
George Soros. So that one billionaire, that it's acceptable for them to say he sponsors everything because they're all a bunch of racists and Nazis. So yeah, so he said that, but actually a lot of the folks, I expected them to be way more like there were a lot of Christians there, of
Mhm.
course, but I think they were I don't think that they were hardcore. Some of the folks I spoke to laughed about the whole thing on the Antichrist. I
Mhm.
think they were just getting in on the idea of going to hear a billionaire speak. And that seems cool to them. People should give the Commonwealth Club as much shit as possible for hosting this sociopath. But yeah, so it was 95% men, maybe 90% men. I did not expect to see any women on that line, so I was pleasantly surprised that there were one woman who I suspect was a reporter because I was dressed as South Park Satan. She said, "Are you fucking Donald Trump?" And of course I had to admit to it. She probably was a reporter attending the event. But yeah, it was good. We need more of this. We need to confront them everywhere.
Yeah.
Every opportunity.
So are there things planned for his next talk?
Yeah. Purge Palantir will be out there again. They're putting out videos. If you you can follow them on Instagram, and they are organizing people to go there it's a beautiful circus-like atmosphere. And we need more of that to expose them and to ridicule them. And it's really important to do. I think that people need to know that we are giving so much of our money and our lives that Palantir is putting together this database crossing government agencies and scraping the internet that's power. That's more than money. To have that on every American. And he's lecturing on the Antichrist. And that's not even the craziest stuff, because he talks about transhumanism. He believes in this getting to this stage. So he's combining biblical afterlife with Lord of the Rings and computers, technology. So he's a Lord of the Rings freak. That's why he named it Palantir.
And there's projects within Palantir, these surveillance projects that he's named after other things in Lord of the Rings as well.
But the transhumanism thing, the spirit in the machine, the spirit living on in this, possessing this entity, and the Palantir itself, it's so incredible when you look at a movie like Lord of the Rings, and you think Sauron is the good guy. I want to be like Sauron, not like Aragorn.
Sauron was just misunderstood.
Yeah, just misunderstood.
He was a very stable genius, I think.
But these are actual sociopaths and lunatics that have control. And everybody does your own thing and can resist in different ways. My thing is mocking them.
Yeah. It's important that, like, Thiel is a fanatic. He's one of these people who speaks against little d democracy. And he was, back when he was in college, I think he's a little bit older than you or I, but when he was in college, he was actually a conservative activist. And then as he became wealthier and wealthier through this tech boom, he just put more and more money into right-wing causes. And it's also worth noting that there's a number of politicians and wannabe politicians, which are the sort of creatures of Peter Thiel, most notably our president's J.D. Vance.
I think I might be wrong about this, but you know that smoky eyeshadow J.D. Vance uses? I think Peter Thiel picked that out for him. I think this is the one, because
he maybe bought him a new couch too.
Definitely. Yeah, it's incredible. He basically handpicked J.D. Vance to be our vice president. And Trump, all right, let's be realistic. What is going to save us from fascism? It's here up upon us, but full on fascism where you either line up or you're going to the concentration camp, is because Donald Trump is intent on doing a third term, fourth term. He'd never leave. Is that he's almost 80 and is in terrible health. He
looks pretty bad. He looks pretty rough.
Yeah. And quite frankly, Vance does not have Trump riz. I think that's their hope, is to get them cracked down in advance that elections do not matter, that nothing matters, that they can just disappear anyone that they want, because Trump does not, because they know that Trump is, I really believe if Trump was in better health, that they would be less worried about getting away with this.
I'm glad you brought this up. I think it's important to note is that you're right. JD Vance and really no one within that circle has the sort of charisma that the cult leader that is known as Donald Trump has with his base and at certain times undecided voters. Let's just call them that. And so that's why this is Project 2025, and they've had this sort of planned out since the last Trump administration, and they're just trying to move as quickly as possible to like break down any kind of institution that would push back on them. This week it's the media, right? But it's important to note is that they're trying to redistrict themselves into holding the House forever. They do as much voter suppression as they can. They definitely have created a narrative around voter that promotes voter suppression. And then they have this surveillance state. They have a military state. The ICE gets more money than the Russian military. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is the dictator's playbook. And I am guessing early on, not in this administration, but in Trump's first administration, I remember I either read an essay by her or an article or actually heard an interview. I don't remember. But what they were saying was that because Trump is obviously not a student of history or world affairs, he is not looking at what Mussolini did or what Pol Pot did and saying, oh, let me borrow that. Let me do this. What M. Gessen was saying is that it's instinct. They're going by raw instinct.
Yeah.
This is what bullies do. Bullies they're not taught to do this. This is what they do.
It's also important to note that the competency level of most of the people that he's put in high positions, and I'm thinking like the Department of Defense, now the Department of War, and the FBI, the leaders of those departments, agencies are completely incompetent, but they have traded competency for loyalty. And so they'll just do whatever they tell them to do.
Yeah, and that might be another saving grace.
I do think it's something that's to our advantage, yes.
Yeah, it's frightening. And at the same time, I think that some of the things that like Pam Bondi, what she was just saying about hate speech, how we can't tolerate hate speech and we're going to go after anybody around hate speech. The MAGA base for the last 5-6 years has all been about there's no such thing as hate speech. And then in one like swoop, we have to go after hate speech. And so I think that their incompetence it brings up opportunities for us.
Right. That and their hypocrisy. Yeah.
Yeah. And not with some of the MAGA supporters are going to push back every once in a while, but they will eventually fall in line. I think most of those people are just too far gone. It's the people who voted for Trump who didn't really understand the full. I think most Americans are like, I pushed this button last time and it didn't really work out. So I'm this. I don't like there's a ton of thought in there. It's just the Democrats didn't do much for me. So I'm going to try Trump again.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that as much as we talk about the sheer lunacy of the Trump administration and their attempts to move the window further to the right, is the Democrats are completely like rolled over and played dead. And so there's no inspiration other than a handful of Democratic politicians like Zoran Mamdani and J.B. Pritzker. There's no inspiration or no backbone at all. One other thing I want to talk about is that last time we talked to you, you had unrolled this They Live skit that has actually seems to be still working for you. That seems to have taken off a little bit. I see lots of stickers and things like that. I've even seen those around San Francisco. And I'm wondering how that has been received and if you're continuing to going to be doing more They Live skits.
Yeah. So
And for those people who didn't catch our earlier episode, it's Jeff does a whole shtick around John Carpenter's sci-fi classic They Live from the late 80s.
yeah, graphics. I made lenticular posters and stickers, 3D lenticular posters and stickers. And those have gone viral a couple of times. And the first time it happened, I wasn't prepared. I had made these giant signs as part of our street theater. And then my idea was to make, I made like 3,000 stickers to sell to reimburse myself for the money that I laid out. And it went viral. And all I had set up was email me and Venmo me. To email me through the website, which is horrible, and Venmo me. And I was overwhelmed. I was getting hundreds and hundreds of orders a day. And they were getting lost in the black hole of my email because I had no way of figuring out Venmo and the email together. And it was crazy times. And then they went viral again, which is awesome. And what I've been doing is I've been donating the money. So not all of it, because I have to pay for the posters and pay people who were helping me. And the street of theater expenses and so on. But we've donated about $7,000 so far, 5,000 to the Middle East Children's Alliance, one to Seeds of Resistance. No, I'm sorry, Seeds of Solidarity, which are both to do direct aid in Gaza. And right now, I just did a new design on the ICE of the They Live theme. So basically, ICE released these propaganda posters. One with Trump and Christie Nome. They have other ones as well, but they lived them, and I am selling those to raise money for NorCal Resist. So NorCal Resist has been doing great support for immigrants, for the immigrant communities, the legal aid, but direct aid to them and their families as well. And
They're great.
I love that idea. Yeah.
So it's a direct service mutual aid organization doing a lot of migrant rights work and based out of Sacramento, a very solid group.
Yeah. Yeah. And for my part, it makes me so happy to combine the street theater, the graphics, the propaganda, and then actually give money to people who are working to save lives. And so that was just a really great model, something that just worked out. And so it's going well. I've got my friends. We're not like some big professional organization. Every street theater action is me basically asking friends to do stuff with me. Sometimes people who have never done this stuff before. And some people I beg and plead, come out. I need people. And some people I've been working with for years. And it's been awesome just having a group of friends. And a very important thing as we go deeper into fascism is having people that you can count on and rely on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think that's an important thing, whether it's people in your apartment complex or friends at work or whatever. We all need to be organizing at this point. We all need to be making personal connections. Don't go out and just rely on your community on Discord or anything like that. We're not going to organize the revolution on Discord and Signal. We have to actually be doing stuff in person together and spending time together in person.
Yeah. And the other thing I really want to stress to people is that these are super fucking depressing times.
Yeah.
That's true. You get super depressed over any of it, any and all of it. What's happening to these poor hardworking people who grow our food and do everything else for us to the people being genocided in Gaza, to the world being set on fire, climate fire, catastrophe. It's all super depressing. Best antidepressant is to do stuff.
Yeah.
Is to do shit.
Take action. Do action. Take act.
Yeah. And in my opinion, is to do fun stuff. It's not always going to be fun, but if you could find that sweet spot, there's a really great group of people in Los Angeles that I've been following on Instagram that have been doing stuff. They've been doing stuff every week at the Tesla diner that they opened up in Los Angeles. And it's not a lot of other people, but they have a carnival going on there. It's super funny what they are doing. And I love it. I love it.
Those were some of the first takedown Tesla actions in LA, I believe, too, right? I think I've heard that.
I don't know. Isn't the Tesla diner pretty new? 3 months old, something like that.
I could be wrong. No, but I heard an interview of someone in LA who said that he was one of the first Tesla takedown actions. Like,
cool.
February, March, or when.
But they're just, when you see the videos, they're just having so much fun. They're just having fun. And they are making people laugh who see them. They are making themselves laugh, empowering them. And what I fucking love more than anything, like this, the porn money is Elon Musk whining on X about them, saying, "Oh, look at these paid protesters. We have to be paid to fucking hate you. You pay people to vote for Donald Trump. You literally were paying people to vote for Trump. You are seeking that love and attention. That's you. We just fucking hate you." But to have billionaires actually cry about what you're doing, so good.
He is arguably the second most known man baby on the planet.
Yeah. And also, like, with, again, Code Pink, when they confronted Trump in that, like, steak restaurant, and Trump was whining about them a couple days later, he's not just whining, he was like, they need to be thrown in jail.
I interviewed Jody Evans like about a week ago, after that happened, and we talked about it. He's threatening they're looking at a RICO investigation of Code Pink. And also note that when he was whining about it to the press, he was also talking about how he actually should be winning Nobel Peace Prizes for all the good things he's trying to do for the people in Gaza.
All the wars that he's stopped. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can just move to a wrap up, because there's one other comedic thing that you've been doing, which is you went to this Peter Thiel thing at South Park Satan, but you've also been doing a lot of Trump and Satan from those with the South Park imagery. And I'm wondering how that has been going.
Good thing. I already had that Satan mask. I've been using South Park Satan for years. I love using South Park Satan. Yeah, I did that recently where I had, after that South Park episode with Satan and Trump, I brought in Netanyahu for a threesome in there. And we did a little action on the Embarcadero where I forgot what was on the sign. I had on the sign, Trump was holding a sign saying, "Satan, does this genocide make my penis look larger or bigger?" And yes, and I was playing Trump that day, dancing in my underwear in the Embarcadero. And I'm very proud to say I made $5 dancing in my underwear. There was somebody who threw down $5. We weren't even asking for money. We don't have a tip bucket or anything. I got $5 dancing in my underwear. Yeah.
Need to wear a G-string next time.
Oh, Man, I probably would have made like $7. Would have killed it. Yeah. So it's an all-time career high for me, making that type of money. So yes, I'm very proud of that.
Jeff, I'm gonna leave it there. It's been
That's the
fun.
high point.
Yeah, it's the high point is you
That's the high
making
point.
money
Yeah.
dancing around in your underwear as
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
I will say, go to my website, badtastegoodcause.com, and check out our stickers and check out our posters. The They Live page has They Live posters of Trump and Elon Musk, and now the posters. And I also did Daddy Trump stickers as well, which are lenticular. And I am selling them for as reasonable prices as I can. And for people who don't have money, I'm just giving them away, at least the stickers. And I've given large amounts away to people who want to distribute them as well. It all depends on how much I have. But yeah, please visit.
We'll add to the show notes.
Cool.
And if there's any Bay Area people listening in, please check it out. And if you want to go and dress around in your underwear as Donald Trump or Jeffrey Epstein or someone like that, you should reach out to Jeff. I'm assuming people can contact you through the website too.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
email me through the website. And Scott, thank you so much for hosting your show and all the activism that you bring to try to save our world. And really appreciate it.
Folks, we've been talking with Jeff Grubler, creative genius behind Bad Taste for Good Causes. My friend and comrade for over 20 years.
Very stable.
Very stable
genius.
creative genius. And Jeff and I have been comrades for over 20 years. If you like what you're hearing, please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a subscription. If you're listening to this on the audio platforms, give us a rate and review. It helps us with the algorithms. And then if you really like us, go to greenredpodcast.org and hit that support button or become a patron at patreon.com/greenredpodcast. Jeff, it's always real. Always happy to talk with you. And we will catch up again soon. And everybody else out there, misbehave and make trouble. Talk to you soon.
Just get on down and hit me. Bam, just get so